Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Brickey here. What do you say? Let's take a rip around DCA, Disneyland, and check out all the new things we can find this week at the Disneyland Resort. And we're going to start today in San Fransokyo, jumping into all the new details that we can find in this immersive new land that used to just be DCA's food court, but has transformed into a storytelling device that is making people very happy and allowing you to catch a great vibe in a land that was once vibeless. Let's jump in. Thank you so much for showing up. I can't wait to do this with you. It's my favorite time of the week. Glad you're here. This week on Update, checking back in with the ToonTown construction, see how it's progressing, but also noticing that there's new elements that are already falling apart inside of San Fransokyo. Were the new projects that were done under the Chapek administration done on the cheap? Seems like that's the case. But it's not all bad as we discover amazing new design details that keep popping up inside of San Fransokyo. Fantasy Fair is no longer behind construction walls and we look at its beautiful new paint job. There's entertainment rumors about what's going to be happening at the beginning of the year with what version of World of Color guests will receive, but also, is Rogers the Musical returning for those that didn't get to see it this summer? Will they have a second chance this February? And we're going to dip into the Grand Californian to see how things have changed but kind of stayed the same. All of this and so many more Disney vibes coming your way. I'm so glad that you showed up for our weekly rip around both parks. It's your weekly update of everything new at the Disneyland Resort. What do you say? Let's rip the parks together. Friends, what do you say? Let's take a walk all around San Fransokyo and try to discover some of the designer details that have been placed in here for you and I to discover and to enjoy this land. And remember, it's those Disney details, those design details. Did you see that bird fly right by? It's all those design details that are put in here, the Disney details that let us discover the story inside of the story. You understand that you're inside of the world of Big Hero 6, but it's all of those details that are placed in here. Those are the little subtleties that really make the land feel real and tell you the story. From the Baymax lanterns that we see placed all around the land to the new character meet and greet, as well as the new store where there's robots transported all around the land, all kinds of little vignettes set up high above where the guests can reach, telling you the stories from the bulletin board. Even Ghirardelli or Ghirardelli, who knows, I never know if I get it right or not, has so many details and has gotten in on it with updating their animated mural that sits behind where all the ice cream scoopers work. Over in the meet and greet section, there's already people lined up waiting to meet the characters, and that doesn't even start for 2 hours. You can see the backdrop has all kinds of details, lived-in details, from tools to murals to posters placed inside of the land to try to take people inside of San Fransokyo. And the new store has so many great details up above. Remember, that's the rule in Disney parks. Whenever you go into a store, always look up, because above where the customers can reach is where the story always begins. So coming here quietly in the morning at rope drop to discover all the different details that we can find in San Fransokyo, I have to say, what a vast, vast improvement from the old Pacific Wharf, one of the last leftovers of DCA 1.0, and it makes me think, when is Grizzly Peak going to get its IP overlay? I know many of you are resistant to the IP overlays, but I have to tell you, it really does bring back the life into these lands. I have never seen the Pacific Wharf or now San Fransokyo as busy as it has been since this transformation has taken place. And they really knocked it out of the park with design details everywhere you look. We've just spun around and tried to catch a couple of the new ones. The new colored lanterns over in front of the old bakery, the new Baymax white lanterns in front of the child care center, but there are so many more to discover. Friends, as I've wandered around San Fransokyo all morning, I have had a blast trying to find all these different design details, but I would encourage you, do the same. Get lost in the new land. Don't just treat this as a place to meet characters or to grab a quick lunch. Actually look around at the Disney design details. I think you'll be very surprised on all the treasure that you can find. All right, let's get started and look at other details inside of DCA for our weekly update rip. I do have to admit that I'm pretty bummed out that that lettering didn't show up here on the far end of the Pacific Wharf. That would have been awesome. Who knows? Maybe it'll still get put in. And for now, it does appear that one of the old signs have survived. Not the one that I was hoping would stay, but there is at least one here that stayed. So look at that. One relic from the Pacific Wharf is still on hand. Love that. I really do hope it stays. I like when they leave little breadcrumb trails from stories and lands of the past. Folks have started to notice that on the Torii Bridge that's behind me, around the base, there's a couple of pieces that are breaking off. Also, if we zoom in and look at the seams of this outer facade that was snapped onto the Torii Bridge, you can tell that the seams are just a little bit loose, like not fully put together, which I think breaks a little bit of the illusion, because you would want to think that this was cast out of steel, right? And painted this international orange color. But instead, we can see all the rivets and seams, and those of us that have been following this along, we remember the white skeleton that was put here before that these pieces were snapped onto. I thought that that snap-on would be a little bit more disguised, which this pairs with the problem that we see over in ToonTown. Behind me, you can see that there's workers that are putting in cobblestone. People have been asking, why exactly did this project pop up? It's because they originally had AstroTurf on this back edge right here. That artificial grass was getting a lot of wear and tear because people were just taking this as a natural path over towards Goofy's play yard. And I did the same thing. The first time I came in, I took a hard left. I'm like, oh wow, they really went hard with the artificial surface. And they quickly realized that they'd maybe let that go a little bit too far. The artificial surface went all the way up to the fountain, realizing that that was a major thoroughfare of folks. So they had to remove it. And you can see the workers in there today putting down beautiful, bright red brick cobblestone, which is going to make this area flow so much better. And then also there was another problem in this exact same area, is that the fountain had a leak under the bottom of it. So you would see water all around that splash zone. Yes, some of that was from the water coming out of the fountain, but a large portion of that water was a subtle leak that was underneath the fountain. So this, inside of a year, completely taken down, rebuilt to rebuild it better. And this is one of many projects in ToonTown, as we also are seeing them work over on Donald's splash pad. And next month, Goofy's play yard goes down. Goofy's courtyard right now has really no interactive items for kids to play in. The kids don't care. They're cool with the slides that are just beyond the yard. But when the land opened up, the yard offered many play activities for young ones. And then over at Donald's boat, there were some play activities out front, some interactive things that are now being covered up with garbage cans. So as we look at the contrast between this and over what we just saw in San Fransokyo, this was all done under the Chapek administration. It was Chapek who created these projects and approved their budgets. It seems as if these budgets were maybe done on the cheap or efficient, and now Disney, just like with DCA, is paying the price, having to go back over and redo everything. And even though the AstroTurf was a really great idea, I think this cobblestone is going to work so much better. And I just love that they caught it before it got too bad, and now they're improving it. The bridge, that's pretty unique. It looks pretty snapped together. Wasn't anticipating that. Hopefully, the Torii Bridge is fixed as well, and we see that look as if it's cast mold out of steel, not a acrylic plastic that was snapped around that skeleton. Let's keep going. I love taking you around the resort, tracking these projects, and just seeing Disney try to get everything as dialed in as possible. They don't use the term test and adjust for nothing, and I love that they still test and adjust even when something opens up. They still realize there's room to make it a little bit better. That's what matters right there. That's what's up. And just like many of the Avengers covert operations, you would never know that they were here at Studio 17. Vanished without a trace. The Golden Zephyr that is directly behind me is allegedly coming back any day now. Supposed to return September 28th. Been down for a month. I love that even the most basic rides at Disneyland still get that TLC that they need. But I'm curious, what could it possibly take a month to work on this thing? To me, this seems like one of the most incredibly easy attractions in the entire resort. It's off the shelf. It's not unique to Disney. This to me feels like an afternoon's worth of work. Scaling back, maybe. Now there's a couple of new entertainment rumors that are going around. I'm seeing these rumors from multiple sources, which makes me believe that there's probably a bit of truth to said rumors. One, after the holidays pass and the amazing World of Color holiday season of light is over, it has been announced that World of Color 1 will be coming back instead of the traditional or basic actual 1.0 World of Color. I know, very confusing. World of Color 1 showed up as part of Disney 100. The idea of the story is that one action can make a large ripple, a large change, and it seems that Disney's happy with the story and they're going to bring it back. Even though, as we reported last week, the rumor is Wondrous will not return in the new year, and instead they will go with Mickey's Mixed Magic, which is a more basic show, and then I believe on the weekends, Disneyland Forever. But that's not it. There are more rumors about entertainment at the Disneyland Resort, and I think this one is going to make a lot of you very, very happy for what's supposedly coming back again in February. So another entertainment rumor that is circulating is that Rogers the Musical will be returning to the Hyperion Theater in February. This is probably great news because the show was universally loved by theme park fans, and not everybody was able to make it out for its 2-month run this summer. So if that is true and Rogers the Musical comes back to DCA in February, I know that's going to make lots of theme park fans excited to get a second chance to see it for the first time, or maybe the second, third, or fourth time. So let's hope that that one is true. As other offerings are getting scaled back, Roger the Musical returning would be an ideal situation because the Hyperion Theater brought so much life into Hollywoodland and the back lot and just kind of gave people, I think, that Avengers feeling that they're looking for that sometimes the campus falls a little bit short on. Rogers the Musical, rumored to return February 2024. Can't wait. Actually, I can. I don't want to rush the year. Pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin Halloween. Pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin Halloween. Everybody loves a pumpkin Halloween. Everybody loves a pumpkin Halloween. Yes, pumpkin Halloween is back, baby. Happy pumpkin Halloween, everyone. Whatever you do, don't you dare ever tell me that it's not pumpkin Halloween. Shh, I don't need to know the truth. I just need to know what makes me happy. Interesting switch up over at the Grand Californian, just outside of DCA, where they're now celebrating Coco this fall instead of Oogie Boogie that had been showing up here the previous years. You can see this masterful confectionery that's inspired by Coco. And this edible masterpiece took over 480 hours to create, and it contains 5 hidden Mickeys, which I'm gonna say would probably take you quite a while to discover them. And don't worry, you can make it yourself at home. All you need is 200 pounds of icing, 100 pounds of gingerbread dough. Gingerbread. Oh, to all the, oh, Brickey, it's a cake, it's a cookie, it's a gingerbread. Gingerbread dough, what are we looking at? Are we looking at a cookie? No, we're looking at a cake. When confectionaries go vertical, it becomes a cake. And I know this, why? Not because I'm a master chef, because I watch lots of cooking programs with my wife. Nailed It, Is It Cake, the Halloween Bake Off, Sugar Rush, you name it, I watched them. I've almost finished watching The Bear. I pretty much have a Michelin star. So if you think this is a gingerbread house or Von Ginger is a gingerbread house, you're clearly wrong. Cakes are vertical, and that's it. Enough with all this cookie conspiracy. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. Cake or nothing. I have made my final judgment. And over at the Craftsman Grill, you can find some Nightmare Before Christmas treats. Don't worry, they haven't totally given up on Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie and Friends. They have a Halloween cupcake, as well as somehow this is a Halloween donut. I guess that's what's inside of Oogie Boogie. If you rip off his ghoulish burlap sap, inside of him is a donut. And then there's also this Halloween crisp rice treat. Don't call it a Rice Krispie treat. Trademark, Snap, Crackle, and Pop will do just that. If you use their name without permission, you will find a Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Thought it would be fun to head over to Grand Californian and the Craftsman Grill just to see how they've mixed up a little bit of the holiday fall offerings this season. Seeing Coco celebrating instead of Oogie Boogie and moving some of the treats over to the Craftsman Grill. Maybe during the middle of the day, some of these treats may be available to purchase in the Grand California Hotel lobby, but I shoot this early to try to get as few as people as possible inside of the videos. So that would be to be determined by you if you were to take an adventure over in the hotels in your midday rip. It's been a very long time since I started in DCA and then came to Disneyland, and man, oh man, what a recharge of the magic. So much magic and action happen in Disneyland, night and day between DCA. Not that I don't like DCA, but Disneyland is just damn near perfect. We're over in the Fantasy Fair where the construction walls have come down, and it is beautiful. All the new paint, new shingles, new detailing. It looks beautiful in here.
Of Morocco! Welcome to the theater of see our imaginations. Stage my friend. Attend in heart if you've been here to win. We're gonna tell the tale of once upon a time at the start, and there's a happy ever after at the end.
This Space Mountain project, it is way more than what anybody was anticipating it was going to be. Was not anticipating to see the very top spires of Space Mountain go behind scaffolding. All right, friends, from walking down Main Street, USA, I think that's going to do it for this week's update. I hope you had fun looking at all the new things that we could find here in Disneyland and across the Esplanade at DCA and also the Grand Californian. I'll be back next week with 3 new videos, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, like always on the channel. But I think next week I'm going to take a break from Disneyland. I feel like I've been hitting Disneyland pretty hard. So I'm going to shoot some videos elsewhere. Don't worry, they will still be Disney adventures, just not inside of Disneyland. Little hint for some of you that are still paying attention. Friends, thank you so much for showing up and doing this weekly rip with me. I always appreciate you walking around the park. It's my favorite time of the week, and it's extra favorite because you spend it with me. Thank you so much for showing up. Please consider signing up to the channel, leaving a comment below. All those things really do help me keep making these adventures for you each and every Saturday. Until the next time I see you, keep ripping the park. Goodbye. I appreciate you.